for the 300 million plus blue and gray collar workers. Now, the challenges, the problems that we noticed were, finding jobs locally in the in their own language, and for these people with no resumes, and it does not give everybody a fair chance to actually land a job. Moreover, they lack a lot of personal skills and they are unable to upskill themselves due to lack of awareness and resources. They really don't know where to apply, and how to find the job. And also, the kind of networking that these guys have had is more on the lines of their neighbors, or people working around them. That's it. But looking at us white collar people, we have something like a LinkedIn, where we have people who share a common language, share a common interest, and also share the kind of job roles that there's a lot in common for all of us. So that's how Pracify is being created. And on the other side, we also identified some problems which the businesses are facing. It is difficult to fill blue and gray collar jobs for them, because now how I would view it is, for example, I would look at companies with maybe a size of, let's say, 30, 40 people, 30, 40 employees, or even smaller. So they have been looking for people either in their network, or they would go ahead and try and find manpower agencies which have high fixed costs and long term contracts, and they really don't have a ready pool of people available who could just come in and start working. So that is a problem that we are trying to solve there for them. We are trying to fill part-time task-based jobs through skill matching, training them, and also handling the background checks for them. So this is the one of the problems that we are solving for the businesses. So Pracify currently is a network of 30 million plus blue and gray collar workers. It is a professional network for them, which enables job search, professional networking, and upskilling in local languages. So what Pracify does for businesses is it helps them gives them the right talent match at the right time for both their full-time as well as task-based jobs. Now, I had been interacting, I handle business development, so I have been interacting with some early stage startups. And these early stage startups, they have a problem of bandwidth. Other than obviously the normal cash crunch that most of the early stage startups feel, this is another challenge that they have. So they are not able to scale up rapidly. So, while we were talking to them, we gave them the option of not employing anybody full time. People who could still go out on the street and talk about their product. They could, talk to retailers if they want. They could talk to normal people if they want. So we gave them those options, and they jumped on it. They were like, they really don't have to handle the management. They really don't have to handle the recruitment, and the process has become much easier for them. So we gave them flexible payout options, fixed or outcome basis on task-based jobs. And then we actually digitize end-to-end work processes via automated workflows. So sitting at their desk, they could actually, even if they have 1,000 people on the field, obviously difficult for, employing 1,000 people for early stage startups, but let's say, even if they have 1,000 people on the field, they can have actually manage it on Pracify. So that is what we are giving out to businesses. And then for workers, what we do there, we help them with job searches in local languages, from full time to task based jobs via video resumes. Now, when I talk about the our blue collar workers, they really are not the kind of people who could express themselves. Be it either a resume, or if you would ask them to type in a few sentences about them, they wouldn't be able to do it. So we gave them the option of video, and it gives them a fair chance to get employed. Employers could actually see what they are capable of in terms of how they talk, how what is the kind of knowledge they possess. So it becomes easier for both. And then we connect these workers via the in-app community and build, help them build their own professional network. They could learn from more and more people. So till right now, they were limited. Now they would be getting, the whole world of, I'm sorry, or the complete blue collar workers from India to connect with. And then they're able to upskill themselves with free learning resources, which we provide in the form of videos and text and skill based tests. So, for example, we would train them on, okay, how to give interviews and how to improve their English. Or if you're applying for a delivery kind of a job, so what are the do's and don'ts? What are the kind of protocols that you need to follow post COVID? So, smaller things like these which they would need in their interviews. So it, makes them, more job ready, and, minimizes, their job search time. So, with Pracify, working has never been this easier. All they need to do, log in onto it, find task-based jobs on demand, perform the work end to end using their smartphone, and then get easy payouts directly to their account. So that's how quick it is. The moment they complete a task, or it is sent for approval to the client side, and the client approves, and they have the money in their wallet which they can withdraw at any point of time. So what is our business model? For businesses, we have a workforce as a service WAS model. So we help them with temporary workers. We provide them with screening, recruitment, and onboarding. Free replacements in case somebody walks out and they need another person. Attendance dashboard, and then they have the payroll management system. Complete payroll end to end is managed for those workers on the platform. Businesses would not have to, spend time or resources in managing payroll. And then we also provide dedicated support. And also, we provide fulfillment as a service where we handle end to end work execution. Now, for example, there are businesses that come and tell us these are the number of merchants that we are looking to acquire. So we manage it end to end. All they get to see is the kind of results that they get, and, grow their business further on them. We provide the worker trainings, again handle their payrolls. We provide a live reporting dashboard and dedicated support. Now, at the moment, what we are doing is workers will have to pay a small service fee while performing task-based job. The fees is actually deducted from the final earned amount after they have finished working. So we do not, charge them upfront. And on the other side, jobs are free for them. Now, when I talk about fulfillment as a service, there are a lot of use cases that we have actually identified. So when we talk of field force, businesses can hire them for retail store workforce, vendor acquisition, field sales, surveyors, lead generation, delivery people, data collection, and even offline activations, which we have been seeing for years. Now, one of the biggest challenges that businesses, even large enterprises face is they would have to, if they want to launch a pan India exercise, they would have to talk to multiple agencies to get those manpower. So at Pressify, we make it simpler. You reach out to us and we'll help you for with whatever locations you're targeting. Other than that, we also get crowdsourced work like user acquisition, app installs and signups, social media acquisition and user generated content, product rating and reviews, social sales, transcription, and data validation. This is something that we crowdsource. People could sit at home and, complete these tasks. And on the other side, we also provide market research where we provide retail audits, survey, market insights, customer satisfaction surveys, mystery shopping, brand tracking, ad surveys, and product testing. So it is helpful both for brands as well as agencies who are looking to understand a new product that their client is about to launch, or maybe if they have created a piece of communication, they can test it out. So guys, this is what we do, and what we are likely living in this period is a massive change, and I see this as a massive opportunity for everybody, for startups, to scale up their businesses. And for even large enterprises, if they are looking to roll out large scale initiatives across the country. So guys, if this interests you, please do get in touch with us. Here we have the details of Shivam, my co-founder. You could reach us on the numbers here as well as on this email address, and we'll be looking forward to talk to you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking out the time to join us here today. It was a pleasure
Mhm.
listening to you. For all our audience, to know more about Prasify, kindly proceed to the exhibitor hall and check out the starter pod for Prasify to know more. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on, I would like to welcome Mr. Rahul Arya. He's the founder of Simor. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
For all our audiences, Simor is actually a Pune-based bicycle sharing platform that provides cycles for gated communities and events. Uh, I would request sir to kindly take over and share your product and innovation with the audiences. I'm giving you the access to share your screen in order to share the presentation. Thank you. Over
Sure.
to you.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen now.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Rahul Arya. I am CEO and founder of Renical Cycling Private Limited. The brand which we are using is Renical. Renical is an asset-light bike share platform, and we were incorporated in the month of July 2017 and currently placed in Pune. Now, the idea to start this company was to address a big problem which was very apparent in India's bicycle industry. Now, as you can see from the screen, is that even though India is second most populous nation in the world, India holds around just 1% of global cycling industry share. Now, there is a structural problem within India's retail cycle market. Now, if we zoom into that 1%, we see a huge disparity that even in that 1%, almost 98% of cycles are entry level or basic cycles. That is, say, sub 7,000 rupees. These cycles are mostly consumed in villages and small towns of India, and their usage is mostly into commuting as a solution, and rest 2% say the cycles starting from 15,000 rupees and above are used in India's cities and mostly for exercises leisure purposes. Our focus as a company was to look into this 2% of India's cycle market. Now anyone who has used cycle or owns cycle now knows that once the new cycle's novelty factor wears off, say for some it wears off within 3 to 4 months, for some for 6 months, and even a year. Once that novelty factor, as I said, wears off, the cycle stays parked in your parking lot. It starts rusting and depreciating fast. Cycle, whenever you want to use a cycle, the mechanic is not available in your vicinity, and plus maintenance and servicing takes a lot of say involvement and hassle. People who regularly maintain and service the cycle are aware about the maintenance and servicing cost of this cycle. Now we were very excited to observe and note the problem, and with technology intervention, we knew that we could bring in the value to the society and also become profitable for ourselves. Our aim is to build a smart asset sharing platform for sustainable commuting solution for urban cities of India. Our history is that we were incorporated in the month of July 2017. After that, we focused on team building and also developed our product. We received our first check from close network and friends. Post that, we were able to launch our product in Pune city with in association with Kolte Patil Builders. and we launched our first in private bike share system in Pune, and this was also India's first private bike share system. People were able to use these cycles via their app and take the cycle wherever they want. Post that, we just prototyped and just observed. We received a good market response. We also won Best Startup Award from Franchise India in the month of March that year. July, we raised second check again from our close circle. And after that, we were able to expand in 60 different locations of Pune with 22,000 downloads, 5,500 paid active users. And this was done just with 300 assets. And we realized 50,000 rides within a span of 18 months. Once this we could do this, 100x came along with their mentorship, guidance, and also money via iSafe Note. And post that, our plan was to reach 10,000 cycles in the city of Pune, Navi Mumbai, and some select parts of Mumbai city. But as we all are aware that we all were hit by COVID. Now COVID gave us an opportunity to introspect within our business, because mostly we were outdoors and were catering to mobility and outdoor exercises. So we could see our history getting split in pre-COVID world and post-COVID world. Now, in pre-COVID world, what we did, we used to deploy premium cycles inside the gated premises. We used to select the premises. Ideally, there has to be a watchman, clubhouse, minimum of 200 flats, and these cycles were ranging from 15,000 to 25,000 rupees. If you go to market and purchase, users very conveniently and they could use this cycle, and the rates were very affordable, just 300 rupees a monthly subscription, or they also paid as per their usage. So this was what we did pre-COVID. But post-COVID, we slightly pivoted our model, and again this was guided by the customers and the market. Our customers were a bit reluctant to use the cycles who was who that cycle was shared previously, and that was unknown. So that was a bit of concern for our users. So instead of that, we saw there is a demand for cycle, and we started giving all our assets on individual monthly rental basis. Within our inventory, we had hybrid cycles, MTB cycles, single gear, and also electric cycles, and started giving out on monthly rental as per the rates mentioned in the slide. The product and services later on which we pivoted to was in B2C market, that is individual rentals, and also we started catering to B2B campuses. For example, there is a company called SKF in Pune. It has a huge campus of 90 acres. We have 40 cycles in the community itself, in the campus itself, and we receive monthly regular payment for our services there. The difference between this model and pre-COVID world model was we received money or revenue once the cycle was used. Here we are able to realize our revenues beforehand, before handing over the cycle. So that was a bit positive for us. Now let me take you through the business flow currently, how it actually happens.
Mr. Arya, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I would like to remind you that we're short of time. So if you could please wrap
I'll,
it up in 5 minutes.
yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying, business flow, Renical provides a platform, and currently we have cycles as a product on our platform. Now, people who own the cycle but don't use their cycle as frequently, we register their cycles on our platform. We give them the revenue share which we earn from the rentals, and also service and maintain cycles for them for free. Now, once we get an inquiry for say a rental inquiry from the customers, our serviceman goes to the premise of the cycle owner, services the cycle, picks the cycle, and delivers it to the rental customer. The revenue is split in the ratio, for example, say 40 and 60. 40 is given to him and 60 we retain for our services. So that is how currently we are operational. We look to raise funds for majority for marketing and technology purposes, because we believe this is a very scalable model. And for instance, within just last month we did with just 2,000 rupees Insta promotions, we were able to register more than 100 cycles on our platform. So that was the reach and scalability aspect. These are the unit metrics commercials for last month. for a flagship product of hybrid cycle, 28% was the EBITDA which we were able to realize just last month. And now from here on, we are looking to scale. Business operations is where customer interaction with us is he calls us via app, website, and also via social media handles. Our sales teams looks for inventory for the cycles which we actually own in our warehouse, and also the nearby vicinity of the registered users. If the expectation matches, the cycle is picked and delivered to the customer, and then the customer care and outsourced logistics parts and everything, the support system is well in place. The market potential which we see is to tap the middle class people from all our cities in India. And if we say they use on and off the cycle subscription, it amounts to around conservatively to $100 annual subscription, and where we see potential of $12 billion annually. Now, value, because of our existence, we believe us to be a triple bottom line business. That is, because of Renical, we take care of environment factor, social factor, and also profitable while doing so. So value to the customer is they have affordable monthly rentals, no hassles for servicing, maintenance, no nothing. Easily they can upgrade or downgrade the cycle or add on number of cycles, doorstep delivery. And for cycle owners, they earn off unused cycles. The cycle is always serviced and maintained for them. So they save around 1,000 to 2,000 rupees for between the exchanges, that rental exchanges, and they receive rentals discounts if they wish to buy it from us, or sorry, rent it from us, and also doorstep delivery for them. This is the revenue in during the COVID crisis with previous model, 51,000 rides, 300 bicycles, 100 plus registration now currently in hand, 60 locations, 22,000 users, and 5,500 active paid subscribers for the previous model. Looking ahead, we know because this business is very scalable, we just have to promote in our masses to register their cycle. For instance, in Pune, there are around 60,000 premium cycles sold every year, and our age group with which we can work is 5 years. So around 3 lakh cycles potential we have to get it registered and also deliver in the market. And we are looking in a year's time, say next January, we're looking to have our entry into Pune, sorry, fortifying Pune and Navi Mumbai as our market. And these are the revenue projections. This is the team. Rahul, I am the founder, and Gaurav Chanani, he takes care of the operations. And these are our credentials. I am graduate. I've done marketing, worked with Indian Oil, and yeah, these are the actual images which we see of our users. These are the actual live locations. Yeah, this is the last slide. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure listening to you. I would like to thank you for taking out the time to joining us here. To all our audiences, to know more about the company, I would request you to please proceed to the exhibitor hall and locate the startup pod of SciMod, that is Renical. Thank you. Moving on, I would like to welcome Ms. Neha Motwani, founder Decadence. Welcome, ma'am. Mr. Arya, I'm going to request you to kindly leave the meeting. Thank you. Ms. Motwani, welcome. Can you hear me? You're on mute, actually.
Yeah, hi. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks. Pleasure's all mine.
To give our audience a brief about Decadence. Decadence is a Gurgaon-based startup working in consumer goods that creates chocolate-based products. I would request ma'am to kindly take over and share your product and innovation with the audience. I'm giving the access to share your screen in order to share the presentation. Thank you.
Sure.
Over to you. Please go ahead. Your screen is visible.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm here to talk you through Decadence, which is a digital-first indulgence brand for the millennials. So this is essentially what we at Decadence envisage to create. Talking about the opportunity, what we've really seen in India is, the e-commerce story play out over the last 5 years with different categories, different sectors, seeing different types of, of takes for online adoption, and a lot of consumer first, digital first, challenger brands emerging, which target specific need gaps and, serve consumers via their innovative offerings. So when we started looking at the space, we realized that indulgence is a category that is quite conducive to online penetration because of the impulse nature of the demand. The instant gratification that an online order can offer you is something that makes it very amenable to online adoption, and that's what really got us started with Decadence as a brand that can satisfy sweet tooth cravings instantly and allow millennials to gift in unique products too. And what we've really seen with COVID is that the online adoption trend has really accelerated and made brands like ours get more noticed in the eyes of the consumer. Talking about the opportunity, its indulgence in India is currently a $10 billion market, with 10% share already being consumed by online orders. What we see is the space is largely consolidated with three legacy players, which have been largely incremental in their innovation. So that sort of prompted us to realize that there is space for a disruptive challenger brand to emerge, because going forward the opportunity is only going to get larger and the online penetration is only going to increase. So we see as much as 40% of indulgence demand being catered to by online by 2025. When we set out with our research, we realized that millennials are really seeking innovative products, and instant gratification is always on their mind. So that's sort of what gives us, an edge over, legacy brands which stay, incremental in their innovation and only scale up opportunities when the market size so, presents itself to them. And that is sort of the trend that we are looking to capture. Carve a space for the our products in the minds of the consumer, and sort of enable our scale up very quickly via servicing demand or via on fingertip consumption for millennials. So, introducing Decadence to you. Our first product category is essentially a cross between a chocolate bar and an ice cream. So for all the chocolate lovers, it's essentially a spoonable chocolate tub format, which allows you to, indulge your cravings, right, and scoop it out of a tub and have it. We have a range of 5 flavors, all speaking and appealing to the millennial. The kind of packaging that we use, the kind of communication that we use, all speaks to the millennial and allows them to sort of indulge their cravings instantly and gratify themselves. Talking a little bit about how we are building our brand, we are primarily building our brand online and servicing demand mainly via hyperlocal food apps and e-commerce platforms. So with Decadence, we essentially envisage to create a challenger brand in the dessert and the gifting space, which we believe is, ripe for disruption, ripe to be taken up by a challenger brand. With Decadence, we want every millennial to, celebrate their cheat day, gift happiness, and every once in a while, once in a week, experience the joy of missing out from their tight fitness schedules, their diet regimens, and so on and so forth. So emotionally, as a brand, we want to, let millennials, enable them to let themselves loose every once in a while, every one day in a week, which we call the cheat day, and gratify themselves. So to summarize, with Decadence, we envisage to create a new category. Our distribution model is CapEx light, OpEx light. I'll talk a little bit more about this. And our presence on Amazon sort of gives us pan-India distribution and reach, and allows us to scale very rapidly without sort of investing a lot in upfront costs. Talking about how we sort of service hyperlocal demand, we've sort of partnered with a lot of cloud kitchens and restaurants that have sprung up after the emergence of hyperlocal food apps such as Zomato and Swiggy. Um, what we essentially do is in every micro market that we identify, we create our own brand listings on these hyperlocal food apps. And at the back end, we tie up with several crowd kitchens, restaurant partners, cafes, and so on to allow us to, stock our products there and also have the restaurant partner manage our operations at the back end with regards to logistics, servicing the order, coordinating with the food apps and so on. This allows us to essentially, scale up on a is very zero capex, zero opex sort of model, and be very nimble with our, scale up plans. So with this, essentially over the last couple of years, we've scaled our presence to 50 such micro markets in Delhi NCR and adjoining cities, and be available at the fingertips for millennials. Going forward, we also sort of envisage to scale our presence beyond Delhi NCR and to other metro cities as well. And our model will essentially enable us to do the same. To sum up, we just don't sell happiness, we are spreading the joy of missing out. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure listening to you. To all our audiences to know more about Decadence, I would request you to kindly proceed to the exhibitor hall, check out the startup board for Decadence, and know more about them, know more about the exciting offers. Thank you. Moving on, I would like to request Mr. Santosh to kindly join the call. Welcome, sir. So
Yeah.
welcome,
Yeah.
sir. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
To all our audiences, Mr. Santosh is the founder of Dhio.ai. Dhio is India's first vernacular conversational AI platform to help employ the next billion users. The focus is on the blue collar sector to remove friction by not imposing English literacy as a precondition for being the members of the new digital economy and leveraging the vernacular AI speech for creating their job profiles and searches. The solution makes sourcing and onboarding of the job seekers to the job portal super simple and secure with inbuilt background verification. Now I would request sir to kindly take over and share your product and innovation with the audience. I'm giving you the access to share your screen in order to share the presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the introduction.
Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll be sharing my screen. Just give me a second.
Your screen is visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, all. This is Dhio. We are India's first vernacular voice platform to employ the next billion users. Did you know that 92% of India's workforce, who contribute 50% to India's GDP, they are in the unorganized sector or informal sector, what we call, right? And however, only 1%, just mere 1% will ever move to the next level. You know why? The main reason being the lack of avenues and also the low aspirations. So we know these are the folks who kind of build India, but a couple of things that are plaguing them is the language, because 88% of India doesn't speak English, and most of the portals technology out there is English centric, and also the fact that technology itself is based on Western principles where you have to navigate and click on certain menus and everything. So what we are trying to solve here is make the platform so easy, so frictionless that anybody can use the platform to apply for jobs. And what is our solution? Our solution is a voice first conversational AI platform where one can just speak into the product. They can just say something like Mumbai mein driver ki naukriyan dikhao, and they can find jobs. And not only they can find jobs, but also they can create a profile for themselves and also navigate through the entire app just using voice commands. Let's see how it works. Right. So here is a driver who's looking for a job. Maybe he has moved, migrated to a different place, and he may not be familiar with the current technologies that's out there. But what he can do is he can download our app, and as I said before, he can just speak into the app and look for jobs. He'll be presented with a list of jobs that he can use, that he can apply for. And to apply for something, he has to build a profile, and which he can do either through voice, as I said, but ours is also a multimodal interface where they can always type if the voice, because the voice accuracies are not that good, so they can always type and also pick from the menu. So it's a touch, type, and voice is the interface that we provide for the users. So think of us as a Google Assistant or Alexa for jobs. And what's the market size? So we are talking about a huge market here. So there are around 400 plus million labor force in India, and they, according to one recent stat that was out there, the gig economy is poised to be $155 billion by 2023, in just a couple of years. And voice especially, because that is the core technology we are using, and it is growing at a whopping 270% year on year. So we are trying to make the best use of the mobile penetration, the voice search, to make sure the folks who are kind of at the bottom of the pyramid get to their jobs. And what's our business and revenue model, right? So we cater to both job seekers and job providers. Job seekers predominantly because they are the ones who are left out, and that is where we see a lot of friction, and that is the domain where it's very fragmented. So as I told you, there is some technology that we have for them, but also at the same time we are not letting down the employers, because at the end of the day they are the ones who employ them. So what we have for employers is a technology where they can apply or create a job description and post it in their language, right? It can be English or any Indian language. And while the job seeker opens that particular job, they will see that in their own language. Suppose if it is English that is used as a language of choice for job description, if I were to be in Maharashtra and open it in Marathi, all the translation, transcription, or transliteration happens automatically under the hood, very seamless, and he can see that. So that is something that we do. And here are the three models. It's a freemium revenue model, where the first a few resumes can be accessed for free, and then we charge the user. And last but not least, we have an enterprise model where our API access is available for the employers or job providers, where they can get vetted and verified resumes of the candidates. Traction. We launched our product a year back, and it's been continually improved since then. And we are able to attract around 100,000 job seekers, and it's growing as we speak, and 250 plus job providers. And we have made around 10,000 fulfillments. So that is those are the happy faces when I say fulfillments. Either they are the folks who actually got jobs, or they have been through rounds of interview. So that's the success story, and we are also revenue positive. This is a quick case study. This is one of the leading e-commerce retailers, and they are available in 35 Indian cities. And especially during the COVID, the whole retail became or online delivery became very popular, as people were kind of scared to step out of their houses for any kind of grocery shopping or any kind of shopping. And this company had a huge need for two-wheeler delivery partners, and we worked with them and able to place around 1,000 delivery partners in less than 2 to 3 months. So that's something that we did quite recently, and we are proud of. And another customer is Hyperlocal Marketplace for rural areas. They have built, or they were trying to build technology, and they had severe handicap because of the nature of the rural ecosystem, because there was no stable internet, plus the language barrier was always there. So we built an end-to-end solution where all the village folks were able to get on the platform, and not only for the jobs, but also it was connected with Manrega program. So that's something that we successfully did in the last 3 to 6 months. And we are a team of 18 people, and here is the key team. That's me. This is my second startup. Previously, I was the co-founder and COO of PetSol, which is a US-based company. I lived there for 15 years before moving to India. And Samit is the product head of the company. He is in charge of the technology. And Shiv Prakash has been my classmate since my engineering days. He currently works with Facebook, and he was one of the key guys who built a voice studio equivalent of Google Assistant for Yahoo. So he's been our backbone and helping us build the technology. Plus, other than these three, there are 15 more folks as part of the team. And we do have competition. Competition means that there is life in the ecosystem. So we do have competition, but most of the competition uses non-scalable and expensive methods. Our focus is to use innovation here, primarily AI, ML, and NLP. Right. So that's our focus. And the key thing here is, and I know the topic of the whole summit is the Atmanirbhar, right? So that's exactly what we are trying to achieve: make India Atmanirbhar. That's possible only if we are proud of our language, and the technology that we use can be easily accessed by everybody. So the key things that we hope to achieve is reduce friction, right? Bring job respectability, and of course, digital and financial inclusion. Overall effect or impact of this is enable, engage, empower the bottom of the pyramid. And of course, there is when we do all this, the employment rate will also improve. So that's essentially what Dhio's vision is. And these are few things that we have done over last a year or so. We are part of the NASCOM. We are part of the Deep Tech Club, and also the Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. We have been featured in many magazines, and we were a Karnataka Startups Elevate winner in 2020. And also we are funded by 100x. It's led by Sanjay Mehta. He's one of the India's angel investors, leading angel investors, and we are also DIP certified and part of Startup India. So these are some of the things that we have done. And to sum up, what we do is build, help the unorganized sector folks build quick and vetted resumes and search for perfect jobs using their voice, their language, but our technology. So that's what Dhio is all about. If you need to reach out to me, that's my email, santosh@dhio.ai. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure listening to you. Thank you for taking out the time to join us here today.
Thanks.
To all our audiences, to know more about Dhio, I would request you to kindly proceed to the exhibitor hall and check out the startup pod for Dhio.ai. There are many exciting offers by them. Kindly do check out. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Moving on. Thank you, sir. Moving on, I would like to request Ms. Archana to kindly join the call. I would like to welcome her. She's the founder of PickRight. Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. To give our audience a brief about your product, PickRight is a self-learning platform to real-time track every recommendation for any type of digital asset by any human advisor or AI advisor for that matter, and assist investors and traders in choosing the right advice on where to put the money. I would request you to kindly take over and share your product and innovation with our audiences. I'm giving you the access to share your screen to share the presentation.
Thank you.
Please take over.
Yeah, please let
Yeah.
me know if you can see
I
my
can see your
screen.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you for the introduction. PickRight is an AI-enabled app which actually helps digital native user planning, saving, and diversifying the investments smartly across all asset classes in a single click. In this presentation, I'll just show you the perspective of the wealth management and what exactly PickRight is creating. Common perceptions of wealth management. Well, how many of us actually went to a proper financial planner, the day we started earning? I assume none of us, because we all come with a mindset, rather we are not taught in the school or even in the houses, that the investment or the financial planning should start the day we start earning our first check. Every one of us will think that for a hedge, only you need to be a net worth individual, or you need to have that extra surplus to start planning or investing. And the next common, it is just mutual funds. Well, when I started earning, the very first thing people start investing, unfortunately in India, is to save taxes. And well, I went and did whatever my friend suggested. I put into that mutual fund and purchased an insurance because my uncle suggested. Result, bad investments. Neither the insurance gave the right returns nor the mutual funds. Even after 5 to 6 years, I see it's a dud mutual fund where I had to get rid of. So it is, wealth management is not just putting money into mutual funds. Financial planning, having a complete understanding of the investing journey with a single click, is what PickRight is trying to solve. And of course, unless you are financially literate, the jargons, it is quite confusing. The finance world is quite confusing. So that really keeps the digital native users, even us, me, up away from the complete getting into the investment diversification. And the biggest one of all is, I really don't trust anyone. There is no unbiased approach. Well, thanks to PickRight, we are creating a platform which is a trusted and an unbiased approach, helping digital native users to actually smartly nudge, save, plan, invest, diversify within a single click. Let's look at the numbers, and these are really very interesting numbers. As of 2018, we are 134 crore population, and less than just 1.5% have been investing in mutual funds, or at least in an equity. It is less than 2 crore. And we have around 29 crore PAN card holders. It is around 290 million PAN card holders. And the only way, this is the right, the only way, and 50% of them are in the age group of 21 to 55 age group. Because of the perceptions, because there is a confusion, there is no awareness and a complete advisory to execution. Everyone wants to make money. Who doesn't want to make money? There needs to be a platform which enables them, creates a complete joyous experience. How loans, the credit card became with a single click. That's exactly what investment should become. And this is the tipping point. We are ripe at that stage. And from now, the numbers have to go in only one direction, that is towards north. We will be at 2040 aging population, because right now we are reaping the dividends. We are the youngest country right now. We have the a vibrant crowd around creating many things. And on the other side, we are looking at a pensionless society, pensionless retirements, job uncertainty, and there are economic uncertainty around. 77% of the households today, they don't really plan for investments or retirement. They actually rely on debt. Credit today, the glorification of the loans and the credit cards with a single click of button. The instant gratification what you get when you purchase, you don't really get on the investment. The solution to this is to create an investment as a joyous experience, more a trusted and an unbiased approach with human touch as well as a smart intelligence enabled by AI/ML. And as of 2020, 1.7% only are into the investing. The rest, 50% are out there to be captured, to give them a platform where the investment comes into the mainstream, and it is now right the time. What exactly we do at PickRight? We take this 217 million highly underserved digital native users. When I say underserved, they are between 5 lakh, anywhere between 5 lakh to 30 lakhs per annum salaried employees who are at the 51% of the employee workforce, and out of which we see only 0.7% have been into the investment. We take them, we focus, they are our target segment. We create a complete user personalized journey. We create a complete user personalized framework where we take the underserved and using the different technologies, India Stack and the data points what they give, we create them a personalized, diversified allocation based on how much you should be having on FD, mutual funds, insurance, emergency, long-term risk. Because as a user, the risk is constantly changing and the capacity, the earning changes. So how Spotify and Netflix revolutionize the entertainment industry by opening up the genres, matching playlist recommendation, we want to create the same experience for a user when they come onto the PickRight, do the basic profiling, create a smart profile, create an investment identity, as and when the user is eligible for different asset classes, open them up and allow the user to invest based on advisory to single click recommendation. Imagine what would be a wealth management for digital native users. For me, for the next generation, and of course, my son, when he comes to the college, it would be a self-directed, nudging, habit forming, hand holding. Awareness creation is very important. Droplets of investment with a single click, not just going and clicking on a gold or a liquid fund, but with a more planned approach, like your own Jarvis, like your own financial assistant, Alexa, where it tells based on right from 100 rupees to 1,000 to 10,000, where exactly it needs to be parked, when to enter, when to exit. Diversification is the secret of wealth management, and wealth is just not is created, we all know that it is created by a diversified portfolio, mix of equities, old and new investments, mutual funds, FDs, new age investments like real asset tokens, startup investing, alternate investments like invoice funding, P2P. PickRight is creating a complete full stack model where it connects all these alternate investments direct and in an integrated API driven framework with a single click of advisory to execution with these financial instruments and one click portfolio management and execution. What are we? We are enabling 217 million digital native users to invest and diversify smartly. We are a self-directed smart investment platform. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a pleasure listening to you. Thank you for taking out the time to joining us here today. I would request all our audiences to kindly proceed to the exhibitor hall and check out the starter pod for PickRight to know more about them. Thank you. Moving on, I would like to welcome Ms. Khushbu Agarwal, founder Xyla. Hello, ma'am. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome, ma'am. To give our audience a brief about your product, Xyla, Xyla is a virtual health assistant providing personalized and continuous care to chronic patients with the vision to impact millions of companies, millions of families across the globe. The chatbot-based assistant is being built on medical AI technology using 10,000 plus medical protocols across spanning across drugs, diagnostics, diseases, symptoms, lifestyle, etc., and is overseen by a world-class multidisciplinary medical team. Now I would request Ms. Khushbu, who's the founder of Xyla, to kindly take over and explain our audiences about the product and innovation. I'm giving you the access to share your screen in order to share the presentation.
Sure.
Your screen is visible.
Great. Hello, everyone. I'm Khushbu Agarwal. I'm the founder of Xyla Health. We are based out of Gurgaon in India. The entire purpose and ethos around starting out with Xyla was the absence of high quality care in India. In India, if you see, there are more than 250 million plus chronic patients. And out of these chronic patients, 70% of them suffer a life-threatening complication, such as a heart failure or a kidney failure, unless proper care is provided to them. So we help these patients with diabetes, hypertension, chronic kidney disease, cholesterol, triglyceride issues, fatty liver, or cancer with the highest quality care delivery through our digital solution. Just to set context, we are expecting, and this is a vision, that by 2025, majority healthcare in our country will be delivered digitally. Only surgeries, critical testing, and accident cases, for example, will continue to be in physical hospital setting. This entire era of digital therapeutics is going to be highly data-driven and algorithm-driven to provide patients with the most personalized interventions in real time, which is missing today. And Xyla is the first and most innovative solution in this space that's enabling this future in India. What we really do is we are almost like a doctor 24/7 service on your phone, available through a simple chat-based solution as simple as WhatsApp. We provide the care delivery for patients with chronic diseases through our AI chatbot technology with a very sound human escalation layer. This entire system is such that we can actually provide care to different types of chronic diseases very easily and scale it up to millions of patients in any day. In fact, as I'll talk ahead, our chat technology is as fast as WhatsApp and is all completely developed in-house, can handle even 1 million messages delivered per second. Through our highly patient-centric approach, we have been able to work consistently for patient delight and are proudly the highest rated health management app in India with a 4.7 plus Play Store rating and a 70 plus NPS score. So Xyla primarily is currently available in 595 plus cities in India and provides 24/7, 365 days real-time care in 10 plus regional languages. We have served 1.25 lakh plus patients, and we are currently working with thousands of doctors across the country who are also recommending Xyla to their patients. Through our care delivery, we have demonstrated significant outcomes of 16.9% plus improvement in HbA1c and a very significant reduction in hospitalization rate. Now, just to showcase the solution a little bit, because this conference is all about innovation in digital solutions, we basically have an AI chatbot. You can access it even by simply downloading Xyla app on Play Store or App Store. This chatbot basically understands the patient persona and data in a lot of detail across their different data points, such as their medicines they're on, the diseases they have, the symptoms they're showcasing, their lab reports, their lifestyle and whatnot, and delivers 85% of the proactive care delivery in real time, right? On top of that, there is a human in-house care team, which handles the escalations coming from these chatbots algorithmically on a very sound patient management system we have developed internally. So it's a chatbot plus human care management solution. And if there is a medical query on top of this, those medical queries algorithmically go to senior doctors in real time. So it handles the entire lifestyle till medical continuum of care for patients. we're very proud of the technology that we've developed that enables this. So anytime a query, because as I said, it's a chat-based solution, right? Simply available as Xyla app on Play Store or App Store. Anytime a query sent by a patient, or for example, they submit a reading of sugar or BP, we have algorithms which can understand what this query is. They can identify anomalies. The chatbot can respond in real time, or can identify whether this query has to be escalated for human intervention. And thereby a personalized response is sent to the user within seconds, right? All of this technology entails smart ML algorithms, and it is based on thousands of patient personas and lakhs of responses that we have already sent out to users we have served. Again, we are very strong at the way we capture the patient data. So we have a very strong medical as well as technology team in-house. The way we capture patient data is all based on international coding conventions such as ICD, CPT, NCD, LOINC, and ATC. So just to talk a little bit about the patient outcomes that we have showcased through this work, we've seen a 16.9% reduction in HbA1c within 100 days, which is, for example, if you know someone in your family who has an HbA1c of 8.5, within 100 days of care with Xyla, they will land up with an HbA1c of near 7. A near 5% reduction in weight, and 40% of our users actually reduce their medicine load, which is a big delight for patients because they don't want to be on too many pills and injections. All of this leads to lower hospitalization and death rate eventually in chronic patients. We go to market directly to patients as well as through our partners. So we work with pharma companies, insurance companies, and e-pharmacies, where we provide this high quality chronic care through our chatbot and service model to their patients. And thereafter, we also enable other healthcare products that the patient may need. So as I was mentioning, we've grown pretty fast with 1.25 lakh plus patients now. Our patients keep on renewing their subscription. So we have a 60% plus renewal rate, which by the way is, unheard of in healthcare. And right now, we're serving Xyla also to thousands of doctors across the country who are writing Xyla as a preferred chronic management at-home solution to their patients on their prescription. Backed by a very, very sound team, because we needed expertise around medical and healthcare, which I bring to the table, along with our CTO Aishwarya, who brings in the tech expertise, Vipul, who leads our growth initiatives and channel partnerships, and Himanshu, who leads our product and design. Along with them, there's a 60-member, very sound team based out of Gurgaon, highly patient-centric, that's led to the NPS and the ratings that we spoke of. Now, just to show you a little bit on our product snapshots, these are our app snapshots, where you see that it's a chat-based platform where the user can continuously converse, and there is a personalized real-time intervention sent to the user, highly customized based on their data and progress so far. The patient also receives a health plan in their app, which is basically everything related to their nutrition, exercise, medication, and meditation in a very structured format that they have to follow day by day. They receive, customized guidance on video, educational content on video. They can track their readings, such as sugar, BP, on the app, and share those charts instantly with anyone on WhatsApp or email. So highly interactive and engaging platform. As I said, we are distributing Xyla through thousands of doctors in the country now. So the doctor, on the other hand, gets this very beautiful patient management dashboard where they can see all of their patients in a go, and also see all of their details in depth around their chief complaints, their day-to-day reporting, and the chat messages exchanged with them in a click. On our backend system, we have a very sound escalation and query resolution system, and there is a care management team which sits on top of the chatbot to handle queries coming in from the chatbot. The technology is such that a single person can handle 2,000 plus patient queries in a single day, so it's highly scalable. We stay away from the health coach model, which is not as scalable, and a person can maximum handle 50 patients a month. This is highly scalable with a person handling more than 2,000 plus patients in a day. And this is made possible by the richness of the escalation algorithm, which anytime there is a patient data submission, the algorithm can understand what is the priority score of this escalation, who should it go to, what should be the resolution time. We also have very sound anomaly escalation, anomaly detection algorithms in our backend, which means if a patient is, for example, on 2 drugs which have counter indications, or if a patient is showing symptom which is looking like a complication of their existing chronic disease, the algorithm can identify that anomaly and highlight it to the care team for management in real time. And again, the most delightful thing about Xyla is the real-time personalized response that people get on the chat, which is enabled by a personalized response engine. I would encourage each one of you to, help out your friends and family who need help with management of diseases like diabetes, BP, cholesterol, and liver disease or kidney disease. Download Xyla on Play Store, App Store, and start with their journey. All they have to do is just download Xyla and get inside the app. The rest will be handled by our team, and they'll receive a call within 24 hours for their management. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure listening to you. To all our audiences, to know more about Xyla, I would request all of you to kindly proceed to the exhibitor hall, check out the starter pod for Xyla, know more about the exciting offerings they share. Thank you. Now, moving on, I would like to request Mr. Harsh Gupta, Head of Product, Vysa. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Mr. Gupta.
Hello, hi.
Hello. It's a pleasure to have you here. To give our audience a brief about Vysa. Vysa is a AI-enabled life coach for mental and emotional wellness. It was launched in 2017. The service provides early intervention to high-risk groups through 3 methods: a AI chatbot, then a library of evidence-based self-help tools, and messaging-based support from a human therapist. I would request Mr. Gupta to kindly take over and share the product and innovation with our audiences. I'm giving you the access to share your screen.
Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah. Shall I start?
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just listening to Khushbu from Xyla. What a wonderful product and what a wonderful pitch. I think it's a good segue into what I'll be presenting today. So my name is Harsh. I'm the head of product at Vysa. And Vysa is scalable mental health support for everyone. And it fits in quite well with what Xyla had presented. So let me start off by asking you a question. How are you feeling right now? Right, it's afternoon, it's the middle of the day. How are you feeling right now? How have you felt over the past 1 year? Right? When you look at the list that's on the screen, do you recognize, do you feel that you felt any of this over the last year? Do you remember anyone else in your close circle feeling this? If you have, then you're not alone. I think 2020 has been hard for everyone, especially with COVID and health anxiety, staying at home, having sleep issues. And this list is not exhausted, right? There's so many other issues which keep on happening. For instance, relationships, breakups, job loss, job change, chronic pain management, and stuff like that, right? So mental health as a use case is not for someone who's just going through chronic or clinical depression or through chronic pain or through clinical anxiety. It's for each and every one of us, and we all go through these different phases at different times, right? Now, if you thought that this is something which is not very common and we have solved this problem, then we haven't. What you're seeing on this chart right now and this chart was created pre-COVID, right? So pre-COVID, even without that pandemic happening, we had 30 to 40% of the demand which was unmet, even in developed countries and first world countries like the US and UK. 40% of the people did not have access to mental health services. That demand is predicted and has doubled during the time of the pandemic. And when you look at India as a use case, India as a geography, the situation here is significantly worse because of the stigma that we associate with mental health, one, and then due to the lack of resources and lack of psychologists and therapists available for an individual out there, right? So given that it's a highly personal need and given that the need exists at scale, Vysa was originated and invented in 2017. What Visa is, and Visa is a penguin that you can see in the top left corner of the screen. It's the avatar, right? So what Visa is an anonymous penguin. It's an anonymous chatbot that will talk to you and listen to you and help you vent and walk through your worries. It's clinically assured. So all the content and all the chatbot technology that you see has been written and vetted by clinicians. It's highly scalable because again, it's pure tech first. So anyone around the world can use it. We have had users from, I think, close to around 80 to 90 countries, even from the remotest parts of the world, like Pakistan and Africa and so on, right? It's super flexible. Because again, being a chatbot, it has the ability to personalize based on what you're doing, the ability to learn over what you're doing over time and what you're seeing over time, and then it can provide personalized care. And it's affordable, right? So as a business model, our moral values and the value of the companies at Visa is that the core product, the core chatbot technology is available for free for everyone, no matter when you need it and for whatever reason you need it. Over the past 3 years, we have had over 2.5 million users. We have not spent a penny on marketing, whether it's ads or any other form. This is all organic and this is all happening through word of mouth. We've had over 100 million chats. We have 10 plus health clients who sort of recommend and refer it to their patients. And we have about 80 to 100 people write into us saying that I was on the verge of committing suicide, and Visa is what saved me from going down that path. So, what is Visa, right? What does it look like? There's three components. The first component is what you're seeing on the left, which is the AI chatbot. So, you go in and you write how you're feeling, and then Visa will start responding to you. It's very responsive. And the core value proposition or the core differentiator that we have over our competitors is that Visa is super empathetic. Right? It is empathy is what you need first and foremost in a mental health setting, and that's what we are. Then for people who would like to go and do exercises for their own self-care, you have a digital self-help library which has over 170 exercises, and for certain cases which are high need or high stress or very clinical in nature, then the user can go and talk to a therapist and get support through sessions over chat there. We're very proud to say that in 2020, Google Play awarded Visa as the best app on Google Play, right? And this is across all categories, across all use cases, right? So this is not just the best app in health and fitness or mental health. This is the best app overall across all apps out there. We've been featured again by Google and Apple in the past for mental health in 2019 and 2018. And Orca, which is the rightmost icon on the bottom layer. Orca is a digital health rating agency which is based out of UK, and they vet apps across the world for different use cases. And in the category of stress, they've awarded Visa as the most clinical and user-friendly app out there. So there's a short demo. I'll start this demo and you can see for yourself what Visa looks like in action. I hope you're able to read it. So this is a user who's saying that they're pissed off because they had a fight with their mom during quarantine, and the quarantine is making it harder and they're not able to escape. As you can see, the chatbot has this option of for the user to write what they're saying. So it's not button based, it's not click based, it's actually text based. The user has the power and authority to write whatever they want in free text. They make typos, they can use whatever lingo and language they want to use. And Visa typically more often than not will get that right and understand and redirect you. The example that you're seeing is what's called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. This is an example where Visa is guiding a person to reframe a negative thought and turn that into a positive one. Right. Some of our creds, NHS is the National Health Services in UK. We have been recommended and referred by clinicians and doctors there for their patients. They've recommended Visa as the #1 app for COVID support. So the UK, the National Health Services of UK is recommending and strongly pushing Visa to their users to use for self-help. Another interesting development that happened over the past few months is the Ministry of Health in Singapore actually rolled out Visa to the entire country, right? So this is the central ministry who's taken on the initiative of providing mental health support to all their citizens, and they brought premium subscriptions of Visa and rolled it out for every citizen in the country. Then the third use case is what you're seeing is Aetna. Aetna is the largest insurance provider in the US, and they partner with Visa in providing group benefits for private medical insurance, and they cover both coaches and the digital service. And we have a research paper published out there which shows that by using Visa, users who used Visa versus a comparison group had a significantly positive impact on depression, and we have 4 other clinical trials underway. I think this slide probably captures the essence of this summit, right? Which is make in India, but make for the world. And as you can see, we have our geographies, which is US, Europe, Singapore, and of course, India is our heart. What are the use cases of Visa? So outside of the retail version, so you can go to the Google Play Store or the App Store and download Visa for yourself and start using it. But outside of the retail version, which is available to every person out there, we work with employers in rolling out Visa as a program for all of their employees and enabling an anonymous safe space, which escalates to their own in-house therapists. We work with behavioral health companies in acting as a front door for telehealth services. So for example, if you listen to the Xyla pitch, we could partner with Xyla and say that Visa sits there, and as and when chronic pain conditions or chronic health conditions come in, we redirect them. But if there's mental health issues, then Visa keeps talking and helps the user manage that. There's clinical programs, which is psychosocial support for chronic conditions. If you're going through, let's say, chronic pain, or if you went through a cancer treatment, or clinical situations like that, then Visa is able to provide the mental health layer on top of that, and that has proven to work and reduce symptoms and better recovery by about 30 to 40%. And then we finally partner with pharmacies to offer Visa as an added patient benefit to their subscriptions. So I'll just take a couple of minutes and talk about the employee support piece a little more, given that we have a lot of SMEs here. What we do with employers is a 4-pronged approach. We provide the Visa app, of course, which is available to all their employees, and the premium versions are unlocked, so there's nothing locked behind a paywall. We work with the Marcom teams of the employers to come up with a well-being calendar. So we come up with challenges and check-ins that the Marcom team or the HR team can send to their employees once a month, and Visa will provide a highly interactive mode of engagement to employees over email without having to download and without any friction. The data that we collect both from the app and from the check-ins and challenges then pulls back and gives very rich insights to the HR, so they have a good view of how the company and how the employees are feeling. And then there are custom care pathways for situations where people tell Visa things which are beyond the scope of our care, right? Which is, let's say, needs to be escalated to EAP or for chronic pain or to their doctor or to their insurance provider. And Visa is able to algorithmically find that out and redirect them as and when needed. Right? And well, this is the final slide. The world needs help. If not now, then when? If you're interested in rolling Visa out, and if you're interested in providing mental health support to masses, whether be it in your own company or be it via an insurance or via government, do hit me up at harshad@visa.ai and I'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure listening to you. I would request all our attendees to kindly proceed to the exhibitor hall, check out the startup pod for Visa, and know more about the exciting offerings by them. On this note, I would like to conclude the startup showcase by thanking all of our attendees and speakers for making it a success. Special thanks to our sponsors, Diamond Partner Google, Platinum Partner InMobi and Facebook, Digital Growth Partner Microsoft, Omnichannel Partner Zendesk, Customer Experience Partner Adobe, Customer Engagement Partner Infobip, Gold Partner Freshworks and Tata Teleservices, Silver Partner Reverie and Philcos, Bronze partner CrediWatch and InShots, design partner WiseApe, media partner Financial Express, and PR partner We Communicate. Thank you. Do check out the other tracks for live sessions. Thank you. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.